Okay, so we know our big ideas. Adding, you need a common denominator. Okay, so let's start here. Okay, I'm going to rewrite this as a 3 over a 1. Okay, does that make sense? Anything that's just a whole number you can write over 1. Okay, so let's add that together. So there's a 1 on the bottom, there's a 6 on the bottom. What would you like me to use as a common bottom? 6. Okay, so what would I do? I would times this by 6, making 18. What would I do to this? Nothing. Okay, now on the bottom I have a 1 over 1 minus a 3 over 8. Okay, so I'm going to put those together with adding. So what would I use as a bottom? 8. So I would times this by 8. 8. I have 8 on the bottom, so I would do nothing. Okay, so now here's the new question. I have 19 over 6 divided by 5 over 8. That's what we simplified it to. So we simplified the top, we simplified the bottom, so this is now what we have. Okay, so what do I do when I have fraction divide by fraction? Fraction, multiply, flip. So instead of dividing by a fraction, I times flip. More today, we got more. I think 4.
4. Great. Great. Thank you.
Okay. Here's something I recognize. An 8 and a 6, I could do some canceling with that, top and bottom. So what would you like to divide them both by? 2. So if I do that by 2, it would turn into a 4. And if I divide that by 2, it would become a 3. And I think that's it. Right? 5. No. Okay. So 19 times 4 is what? 76. And then 3 times 5 is 15. There we go.
Are you going to ask us to change it to
Mixed. Okay, here we go. Adding. Okay, so 8x, what can you use that's common? The lowest common multiple. 8x. Okay, so I would have nothing to the first one. And I would have to times this by 8. Okay, so now to the bottom, I'm going to subtract them, so I need a common bottom. So 4x, 2x, what's the lowest bottom you could use? You could use a 4x. That's the lowest. So do nothing. And then this one you would have to times by 2. Okay, so this is what we did. The top was 20 over 8x. Divide by the bottom. Okay, so that's the adding part. So now fraction instead of divide, times, and flip. Okay, you can look for anything top-bottom related that can cancel. So x and x, those can cancel right off. What do you want to do next? Do you want to do 4 and 8 or 20 and 8? Doesn't matter. Should we do 4 and 8? So 4 dividing by 4 crosses off. Dividing by 4 is a 2. And then 2 and 20. So just you can do 20 divided by 2, which is 10. Yeah.
So the X is canceled.
Completely gone. X is X. I canceled the 4 and 8 with a 4. So then 4 divided by 4 is gone. 8 divided by 4 is a 2. And then I'm still left with a 20 and a 2, right? Yeah. Okay, so 3x, I'm picking common 3x. Okay, so how do I change this to a 3x? I would have to times it by a x. So making x squared. How do I change this to a 3x? I don't have to do anything to change. So minus 9 doesn't change. Okay, now these two things on the bottom. This has a 3x, this has a 3x, so the common theme is 3x. So I do nothing, I do nothing. Okay, now I'm going to create that flip multiply situation, right? Okay, I can do this. 3x can completely go. And we have to do something else. Does anybody know what that would be? Difference of squares. Okay, you cannot cancel like x and 3 and 9 like that. You can't cancel right now because they're adders. But once you factor this, you have something times something, divide by something. So you can do cancels. So x plus 3. So I end up with just that. Okay, last one here. So out of those two added or subtracted together, I need to put an n and an m in the bottom. This is the common bottom. Okay, so now what did I do to the first fraction? Look at the bottom, look at the new bottom, I times by an M. Look at the bottom, look at the new bottom, nothing. So do nothing to the top, so minus 4. Okay, so this one, I need both N and M. Those are hard letters to say together. N, M together. So what would I do to change this? I'd have to do an M, making an M squared. What would I have to do here? Nothing. Okay, there's my flip multiply. I can cancel that. And I see something again. Difference is squares. That can now cancel. And be careful how you write this one. We ran into this yesterday. 1 over. Because the whole cancel on the top makes a 1 on the top. Okay, you can't just write m plus 4. That's different, because then that's not a fraction.
What about the other one is just scoot over a bit? Why isn't that?
That's on the top.
Because it's located on the,
Oh, yeah, right there.
it's that on the top.
If I put like a line in line this somewhere, then my brain will.
Like this. This is, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Is that what you had? That's the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, then my brain will do that.
Yep. Because the whole bottom canceled, so you can write divide by 1, yeah. Which you can write it or you don't need to write it as well. Yeah. Okay, I think I might pick something from your booklets to do, because there's some hard ones in there. Alright, so find your work booklets. Page 5. Okay, this is just straight adding. Okay, so I'm going to factor this. So it's a differences squares recognition. So xx plus minus y. Okay, I'm going to factor this trinomial. So this is a trinomial. So I need xx to make x squared at the front, the first. What do you do to make the last? y. And they're both going to be plus plus, because then it makes 2 xy's. Do you see it? It's just a simple trinomial. Okay, tell me, what would I need to put in my bottom to make sure everything fits? X plus y, x subtract y, boom, fits. Would I be able to fit that in there? No. Can you put your finger on that here and in here? No. So I need another. So can you put your fingers on this and here? Can you put your fingers on this and this? Okay. Do you see it? All right, ready? Look at the bottom, look at the new bottom. What was the changing factor?
Why do you put extra x plus?
Can you, if I didn't put it there, can you put your fingers on it and place your fingers on it in the bottom right now? No. So I needed another one. Okay, so look at this bottom, look at the new bottom, which I had, this one was the changing one. So if I change the bottom, I change the top. Okay, second fraction, look at the bottom, look at the new bottom. I had that, so which changed the bottom? X minus y. Okay, so 7x plus a y over all that.
That's it? We're not simplifying?
Nope, that is simplified. Just collect the top together and then leave the bottom.
That's literally just like doing adding and subtracting.
Add, subtract, yeah.
So adding and subtracting was the same thing as like as is basically. For that question specifically.
Like when I say the word simplify, it just means collect like terms kind of thing, idea. Okay, let's go to, anybody find another one that looks crazy? Let's go to number 14. Okay, so I have to put this together. So here's the only thing I kind of thought about was just 4 over 1 right now. Okay, what kind of bottom do you want to use to put these together? A squared. So I would have to times this by an a squared. And I would have to do nothing. So we simplified the top, divided by, and then technically you can write that over 1 if you want. Anytime I only see one thing, I write it over 1. Okay, can you make a flip multiply situation now?
Are you not going to factor it?
Yep. Okay, so right now I can't cancel anything because I have adders. So I'm going to difference of squares this one here. Can you do a difference of squares for me? Yep.
When it says you have adders, what does that look like when you say you have adders? Like,
So I can't just cancel 4a squared with 4a squared because it's connected to something with adding. I can only cancel something if it's connected with multiplying. So this 2a plus 1 is multiplying by something else, so then they're connecting with multiplying, so I can do some canceling. But like here, there's no, you cannot do a 4a squared, you can't cancel them off because they're an adder at that point. But now I have this times this. And I'm going to factor this as well. Okay, it is a complex, but I think you can nail it. Because what has to be at the end here? 1 times 1 has to be. And what do you what's your prediction to make the 4? Do you want 1a times 4a or 2a times 2a? 2a times 2a. Do you see how you make the 4a in the middle as well? Okay, so now I can do a cancel, and that would be 2a plus 1, 2a plus 1. That is it. That's all you can cancel. You can't cancel anything else. So 2a minus 1